Hello, boys and girls. I hope you're really well and I hope you're really excited because you are in luck. Today, you get to have a numeracy lesson, a maths lesson, a number lesson from me. How lucky. Doesn't usually come up. So, very excited. I'm very excited to be here. And today, we're looking at place value. So, the way that you write numbers and the way that you organize numbers once they get past the number 9. Okay? So it's a really easy one today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm moving my hands a lot. I suppose that shows how excited I am. For today, you're going to need a few things to make it more interesting. Firstly, must catch me surprised. You'll need some icy pole sticks or craft sticks, depending on what you call them. You'll need a texter or a pencil. You'll need scissors. Okay, check out how I'm holding it. Safety. Safety first. You'll also need not one, but 2 dice. Now I've gone for 2 different colours and you'll see why a little bit later, but they don't have to be 2 different colours. Just for the demonstration, it is much easier that I have 2 distinctly different dice colours, okay? They're just dice to 6, regular dice, okay? Then I've got a couple of rubber bands, okay? They'll come in handy for the icy pole sticks or the craft sticks. And finally, you'll need some paper, okay? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do when you sit down to start your place value activity is you're going to take a piece of paper and just pop it on your table, and you're going to put a line straight down the middle, okay? And then you're going to put a line across the top like this. So you've created 2 columns, and in each of the headings is going to be tens and ones. Okay, so tens and ones. Okay, so that's a nice easy one. Now, the reason we have 2 dice, okay, you're going to take your dice and my tens, so each dice is going to be for each side of our chart here, and you're going to be creating one number by using 2 different dice, and you'll see what I mean once I start. Okay, so first we're going to go for the tens column, okay, and we'll roll the dice, and we got a 4, so we're going to write a 4 nice and tall there, straight down, straight across, and then another one straight down. Okay, so that's our 4. Alright, you might also like to do the 4 dots like on a dice. Okay, that's what came up. The more information you can put on this, the better, okay? So that if you get to the end and realize there's something that's a little bit off, you can go back and find out exactly where things were slightly miscounted, or whether you thought you saw something and it was something different, okay? And then, so now we've got 4 in the tens, okay? We just write the 4. And now we'll go for the ones. 6. Well done, Mr. Price. Okay, so we'll write a 6. And again, if you'd like to, you can, I recommend drawing the dice, okay? Now it doesn't have to be exactly the colours and things, but it does need to be the right amount of dots, and I like it when people take the time to make sure that the dots look the same and in the same pattern as what you see it on the dice, okay? It's just something that you will get used to. It's and it's been proven that it's a wonderful skill to have, to be able to look at a number of dots, a know exactly how many are there. Does that look right? Yeah, beautiful. Well done. Now, we've got our two numbers here, a 4 and a 6. So we've got 4 in the tens column, so we say 40, and we say 6. So it's just 46. Now when we write that in one go, okay, so we know that 40 in the 4's column is the same as, 4 in the 10's column is the same as 40, and then 6 in the 1's column is like this. But when we write it, we don't write 46, do we? Certainly not with that sort of 4, or this sort of O. Take your time, Mr. Price. We just write 4 and a 6. Exactly the same as we have it up here, and that's because of place value. We know that the 4 in the tens column, you don't need to write the 0 unless there's 0 ones to go with it. So it's just a 4 and a 6. So there's our number, okay? Your next step with this one is you're going to take your icy pole sticks and you're going to make the number 40 or 46 using icy pole sticks, okay? And the way that you do that, happy birthday, Mr. Price. Mrs. Cronish already taught you how to bundle your icy pole sticks into groups of 10, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to make 4 bundles of the number 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's one bundle. And you'll get your rubber band. And you're going to use your fine dexterity skills, and that's one group of 10. Now we know that that's a group of 10, and we don't need to count it again, do we? Okay, so we know that that's 1 10, but we need 4 of them. So let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a pile of 10. Good. Or a group of 10, a bunch, a bundle, I'm not sure too many other words. Okay, this time I'm going to speed up the process slightly and I'm going to be a bit tricky. Okay, we've got 2 groups of 10, but we still need 2 more to get to 4. I'm this time going to count by 2s. So, tricky. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's still 10, but I was a bit tricky and it might speed things up, might slow you down slightly. Who knows? But the point is, I did it. So there's 3 bundles of 10. We still need 1 more. Let's go for 2s again. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So there's my bundles of 10s. Okay, 4 bundles of 10. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need 6 over here, but because it's 6 on their own, we don't need to bundle them at all. So we go 1, oh, fancy orange one, go Mr. Price. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And look at that. I've made 2 groups. Look at that, part whole. 3 on this side, 3 on this side, 6 all together. So that's our 6. So there you've shown how you can make 46 using icy pole sticks. Now there is one more thing that I would love you to do for each number that you're going to create. So it's pretty slow, but you're looking at a number in lots of different ways, okay? The last thing that I would love for you to do, so we're still looking at our first number that we rolled in 46, and you're going to get a new piece of paper, and your paper will need to be big enough to put your hands on like this. Wow. It's said that your hands show how old your soul is, so I think my soul is about 6 million years old. Or maybe my hands have just felt the cold a lot. Anyway, the first thing you'll need to do, okay, now I recommend you use a pencil for this because I'm going to use a texter because that's what I have available to me at the... Oh no, I have a pencil here. Actually, I'll use texter, you'll be able to see it better. Okay, but if you're using texter, there's a good chance it'll get on your fingers, okay? So I recommend using pencil. You're going to put your hand on here, on your paper, and you're going to trace your hand, okay? Straight around. Da 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 da. Get right in there. Have a look at how swollen Mr. Price's knuckles are. So that's one hand. Look at that. Don't rush. Okay, if you rush, your hands won't look like hands. They'll look like a 5-legged octopus or something unfortunate like that. And only just fit on the paper. Ooh. Now if you've got a couple of gaps, just fill them in, and then you'll be able to join up your hands at the bottom. Okay, and there you have your hands. Then you'll need to cut your hands out. Okay, so take your time. And this is always fun because we don't get to cut too many things out at the moment. So take your time. Try not to cut too many of your fingers off because they're important. Okay, and especially because the two of my dice together add up to 10. I need every single one of my fingers for what's coming up. Okay. And that's a little bit of a limitation in this activity, unless the way I'm thinking about it is slightly different to how it was intended by whoever created it. Most activities just get passed down from teacher to teacher. Whoever thought of this one was pretty clever though. This is good. So we're cutting out your fingers, or your hand shadows, your hand tracings, nice and steady. This might take a little bit longer for you because I know that you'll be taking great care and great pride in your work because you always do. Where are we? Try not to cut off my finger or my actual finger. I'll go nice and steady. Can you still see that? I don't just have it shoved up in my face so you can't see. You'll also notice when I'm cutting that I'm not turning the scissors too much. I'm usually cutting straight ahead of me, but what I'm doing is I'm turning the paper, and that's a much easier way to cut than trying to turn your scissors too far. You always want to be cutting not as straight as you can and as close and always away from your body. Okay. Now, what you've got, and I think I've left myself just a shade short here. So that's not the way your hands go. Ah, that's better. Now you'll need two different coloured textures, okay? texters. Alright. So now you've got two different coloured texters. I like to use red for the 10s and I like to use yellow for the 1s. Not entirely sure why. I think it's another one of those things that have been passed down from teacher to teacher. Okay, and you're going to start off by colouring in 4 red fingers. Okay. Again, this will take you a little bit longer because you'll be taking far greater care with your work. Okay. I do care, but I don't want to be keeping you watching a video about colouring in fingers for half your life, okay? 1, 2, no. 3, is that enough? No. Come on, Mr. Price. No being dodgy. Don't be lazy. Nobody likes a lazy student. And guess what? I can always do better. Okay? Never give up. Don't be lazy. Key rules. Certainly in F24. Well, they're the rules we talk about, but they're wonderful, wonderful things to keep in mind. So again, we'll write the number 4 here, so it's straight down, straight across, and then another one down the middle there. Okay, and then of course we're going to make our 1, so we're going to use 6 fingers and colour them in yellow. Now in this situation, thumbs count as fingers. Okay? I usually count thumbs as fingers anyway, but some people are a bit funny like that. It's like the joke. How many fingers have you got? And you say 10. And they say, oh man, you can't count. Because they don't count your thumbs. I just think that's a bit funny. It's funny. It's funny, but surely your thumbs count. And we'll continue on. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Okay, now we're almost done. Oh yes, we'll need to write the number 6 in yellow texter here. Perfect. Ooh, that's a bit straighter, but now the hand's not. Anyway, so there you have a couple of different ways to make, count, write, and do a sort of arty, crafty way of doing your place value. Nearly forgot what the subject was actually going to be for today. Place value for today with dice and a couple of other things. So your aim will be to start with 1, and after you've done the first one, it might take you a little while, do another one, and maybe do another one. If you can get 3 of these done, I'll be absolutely thrilled. Now, the thing to keep in mind, okay, when you at the very beginning, when you roll your dice, if the 2 of your dice add up to a number more than 10, guess what? It's not going to work. So if you roll a 6 or a 5 and a 6, you end up with 5 in the 10s columns and 6 in the 1s column, and you don't have enough fingers, okay? So you can roll a 6 and a 4, because 6 and 4 give you 10. You can roll a 5 and a 5, because that gives you 10. And you can roll anything else less than that. But the only ones you can't roll are a 6 and a 6, and a 6 and a 5. Okay? Everything else will work. So if you roll a 6 and a 5, just roll it again. Or keep the 6 and roll this one again. Okay? Have fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. It was quite relaxing, really. Can't wait to see your results and all the cool numbers that you can make with 2 dice and a bit of imagination. Great job, everyone. Bye.